সবাইকে শুভ সন্ধ্যা এবং আজকে যারা আমাদের ওয়েবিনার সেশনের ভিতরে আছেন তাদেরকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ এবং একটু দুঃখিত যে আমরা একটু শুরু করতে দেরি হলো একটু টেকনিক্যাল সমস্যার কারণে, বাট আমরা আশা করি যে এটা আমরা কাটিয়ে উঠতে পারবো এবং একটা ভালো সেশন হবে। তো আমরা মাউন্ট ভাই আজকে শুরুতে ছোট্ট করে একটু বলে নিচ্ছিলাম যে কিছু এটিকেটস ওয়েবিনারের, যেহেতু আমরা চাই যে সবাই অংশগ্রহণ করুক এবং ম্যাক্সিমাম প্রশ্নের উত্তর যাতে আমরা দিতে পারি। তো আমরা কিছু আলোচনা করেছি পয়েন্টস গুলো। আমরা যেভাবে সাজিয়েছিলাম আজকের এই ওয়েবিনারটা, যে আমরা অল্প কিছুক্ষণ আমাদের এন্ডরুট সম্বন্ধে একটু বলবো, তারপরে আমাদের ফ্যাসিলিটেটরকে পরিচয় করিয়ে দিব এবং তারপরে ফ্যাসিলিটেটর ওনার প্রেজেন্টেশনটা দিবেন এবং শেষে আমাদের একটা সেশন আছে। আপনারা সবাই জানেন যে এটা রেজিস্টার্ড ওয়েবিনার, সো যারা রেজিস্ট্রেশন করেছেন তাদের প্রশ্নগুলো আমরা লিখিত আকারে এমনি অথবা তারা সরাসরি কথা বলে দিতে পারেন। আর যারা লাইভে শুনছেন, আমরা যদি সময় পারমিট করে তাহলে আমরা তাদের প্রশ্নগুলো নিব। আমি বেশি সময় নিতে চাচ্ছি না। আজকে আমরা এনরুট সেন্টার ফর ডেভেলপমেন্ট, আমরা এক্সিকিউটিভ এডুকেশন নিয়ে কাজ করি, এটা অনেকেই জানেন। সো আমি একটু স্বল্পতার জন্য তাড়াতাড়ি করছি। সো আমরা গভর্নমেন্ট, পাবলিক সেক্টর এবং ফর প্রফিট, নট ফর প্রফিট সব জায়গায় আমরা কাজ করে থাকি। আমরা বিভিন্ন ধরনের ট্রেনিং দেই, এটাকে আমরা ব্লেন্ডেড ট্রেনিংই বলি। যে কাস্টমাইজ ট্রেনিং আছে, ওপেন ট্রেনিং আছে এবং আমাদের ই লার্নিং প্ল্যাটফর্ম আছে। এছাড়া আমরা এক্সিকিউটিভ কোচিং করাই। এই মুহূর্তে মোস্টলি আমরা সি-সুইট এবং সিইওদের এই সার্ভিসটা দিয়ে থাকি। আমাদের ক্রেডেনশিয়ালস এখানে কিছু বলার চেষ্টা করলাম। এটা আমাদের প্ল্যাটফর্ম, ই লার্নিং প্ল্যাটফর্ম, যার মাধ্যমে আমরা আজকে এই সেশনগুলো করছি। এটা একটা ফুল এলএমএস সলিউশন আমাদের এখানে আছে। আমাদের নিজস্ব স্টুডিও আছে। সো আমরা ই লার্নিং কন্টেন্ট নিজেরা তৈরি করি এবং অন্যদের জন্য তৈরি করে দিই। আর এই তো আজকে আমাদের যে মূল আকর্ষণ, এবং সেটা হচ্ছে আমাদের ব্যক্তিগতভাবে খুবই প্রিয় এবং পছন্দের মামুন ভাই সৈয়দ এ মামুন, পিএইচডি, 𝐓𝐚𝐿𝐴 CSRS। মামুন ভাই এখন ডেপুটি সিইও হিসেবে আছেন বাংলাদেশের অন্যতম ক্রেডিট রেটিং এজেন্সি, ক্রেডিট রেটিং ইনফরমেশন অ্যান্ড সার্ভিসেস লিমিটেড। তো যারা মামুন ভাইয়ের সাথে কাজ করার কিছুটা সুযোগ হয়েছে, তারা মামুন ভাইয়ের নলেজের ডেপথের ব্যাপারে আমি শিওর যে অ্যাওয়্যার এবং অ্যাপ্রিসিয়েট করবেন। মামুন ভাই তার পিএইচডি করেছেন খুবই নামকরা একটি ইউনিভার্সিটি থেকে, এশিয়ান ইনস্টিটিউট অফ টেকনোলজি, এটা থাইল্যান্ডের একটা ইউনিভার্সিটি। যারা আমরা এগুলোর সাথে জড়িত তারা আমরা জানি যে কতটা প্রেস্টিজিয়াস ইউনিভার্সিটি এই এআইটি। মামুন ভাই ওনার বর্তমান ডেপুটি সিইও ছাড়াও উনি ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট ডিরেক্টর এবং চেয়ারম্যান অফ অডিট অ্যান্ড ফাইন্যান্স কমিটি, বোর্ড অফ ডিরেক্টরস, নর্থ ওয়েস্ট পাওয়ার জেনারেশন কোম্পানি লিমিটেড। ওনার একাধিক জার্নালে ওনার পেপার পাবলিশ আছে, দেশি এবং বিদেশি জার্নালে। মামুন ভাই একটি বইও লিখেছে, ইন্টারনাল কর্পোরেট গভর্নেন্স ইন অ্যান ইমার্জিং ইকোনমি, ইম্প্যাক্ট অন পারফরমেন্স অফ ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল ইনস্টিটিউশন ইন বাংলাদেশ, যেটা জার্মানি থেকে প্রকাশিত হয়েছে। তো আজকে যে টপিকটা নিয়ে আমরা আলোচনা করছি, দীর্ঘদিন ধরে আমরা চাচ্ছিলাম যে এই টপিকটা, যে ক্রেডিট রেটিং, এটা আমি শিওর যে মামুন ভাই এটাকে বিস্তারিত নেওয়ার চেষ্টা করবে। বাট আমরা এনরুট থেকে এবং আমি ব্যক্তিগতভাবে এই ব্যাপারটা নিয়ে অনেকদিন ধরে আগ্রহী ছিলাম যে এই ক্রেডিট, বিকজ আমরা যারা কাজ করি ফর প্রফিটে এবং ডেভেলপমেন্ট সেক্টরে, আমরা জানি যে ইকোনমিক ইউনিট হিসেবে ব্যক্তি, ইনফর্মাল যে ইউনিটগুলো আছে, এসএমই, এমএমই বা অথবা আমরা যারা বড় অর্গানাইজেশনগুলো আছি, সবার জন্যই ক্রেডিট রেটিং একটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ভূমিকা পালন করে। এবং এই ক্রেডিট রেটিং থাকা এবং না থাকা এন্টারপ্রেনারদের জন্য মানে বড় ধরনের কস্ট, তার এক্সেস টু ফাইন্যান্সে বড় ধরনের ইম্প্যাক্ট ফেলে। এখানে জবের কি ধরনের অপরচুনিটি আছে, সামনে এটা কিভাবে ইভলভ করছে, এই সমস্ত কিছু নিয়ে আমরা মামুন ভাইয়ের কাছ থেকে জানতে চাবো। তো আমরা সময় নষ্ট না করে আমি মামুন ভাইয়ের কাছে এই ওয়েবিনার এটা অফার করছি। সো আমি মামুন ভাই শেয়ারিং থেকে বের হয়ে যাচ্ছি, আপনি এখন আপনার স্লাইড শেয়ার করতে পারবেন।
ওকে, thank you Daud bhai for giving me such a great opportunity to share my understandings, in fact, with the audience. So
আপনি যদি
start with.
প্রেজেন্টেশন শেয়ার করতে চান তাহলে আপনি যে স্ক্রিন
হ্যাঁ।
শেয়ার বাটন স্ক্রিন ক্লিক করেন। যে আমরা এখন দেখতে পাচ্ছি আপনার
জি, can you see the presentation slide?
দেখতে পাচ্ছি।
Okay, okay. So welcome to all of you to today's learning session. In fact, knowledge sharing session. So at the very beginning, good evening to all and assalamu alaikum to all the participants today. Indeed, this is a great privilege for me to be the part of this learning session, and particularly Android and the 𝐒𝐮𝐤𝐬𝐡𝐨, which was very attractive to me because of their cause. As you all know that nowadays, because of the availability of technology and access of the social media, now knowledge sharing session or knowledge sharing initiatives have been overflowed. This is definitely is a good sign, but Android on and 𝐒𝐮𝐤𝐬 has some speciality which impressed me, that they would like to work with the specific skill which will enhance the capability of an individual to perform their role. And definitely because of the credible professional position of the Daud Bhai has also attracted me to be the part of this forum. And if we proceed our today's session, this is the plan we would like to proceed, and it can be a bit flexible, like as you know that plus minus can be, but I try to be on time within this time framework. So before starting, I would like to re-emphasize one thing, that is, you know, anything, any specific, even if we think about like as in cooking is also an area or domain of knowledge. You know, this is a very vast area. If we talk about the cooking, it has different aspects as well. So anything, any knowledge domain in the world is a very comprehensive. So this is not possible like 1 hour or 2 hour or for certain time frame is possible to cover everything of that knowledge domain. So definitely finance is also similarly like a very vast area, and the credit rating is definitely one of the important element of the financial system and the framework. So in that respect, it has also a different dimension as well. So with this session plan, we try to focus the general framework of the credit rating, because it has different dynamic as well, and it varies company to company and particularly industry to industry significantly. So however, we try, the main challenge for me was to design this session. If very beginning, I'd like to, as Daud Bhai was so generous to introduce myself. I define myself as a learner of finance, and my vision of learning finance is to apply it for creating impact and to achieve the sustainable goal for corporate society as well as for the community as well. So I love to introduce myself as a learner of finance. And today's newspaper, I think this is our general routine, that we started our daily life with the newspaper, though it has a little bit shift for the new generation. In fact, I'm also the part of that, like checking our Facebook profile, but still since very long of the family tradition, still I started my day with the newspaper. So today's most attractive like news to me was this news. There's a stressed assets stretching away. So, you know, this is not new, but this re-emphasized that how stressful of our lender's asset, that's a bank. So it creates a concern for us that the lenders are giving money to others and borrowers, and lenders are not getting back their money. And consequently, we found that the unrecovered loan is piling, and which is the reflection or which creates the stress of the asset to the banks. And another news few days back, we found that the NPLs increase. In fact, these are the data shows that that's an NPL or the non-performing loan, means unrecovered loan or the bad loans are increasing. But this news is re-emphasize that matter. So when this news came, without being a layman, anyone can say that, oh my God, in Bangladesh, lender are lending money, but they are not getting back that money. So this is a big concern. So keeping this backdrop, if we focus on our agenda, that is, what is credit risk? Because our purpose was to assess the credit risk by the credit rating. So the credit risk, which we mentioned in the prior two newses, that lender is lending the money and they have the uncertainty for getting that money. And consequently, we found that the uncertainty creates a huge burden for the lender as well. So now let's re-emphasize few issues. Suppose supercut salon during this pandemic. By the way, I will request all of the participants to hold a perspective. Like here, we try to take our position that we are the lender. So if we are the lender, because as you know, is a particular business organization has a different stakeholders. So when we analyze any aspects of the business, we need to identify that who we are. So today we'll play the role that we are the lender. So from the lender perspectives, we try to listen this and we try to be with this session. Like let's think about the supercut salon. So as you know that during pandemic, salon and the beauty parlors are the severely affected business. And suppose they are suffering from paying their salary for employees. Suppose they need the working capital. Another context is that like Premier Cement few days back, they were expecting for their expansion plan and they need $150 million. And another case that Reliance Power, which is going to build a new power plant in Bangladesh, which also needs $1 billion because they would like to invest almost $1 billion in the power plant. So all of them have a cost and which creates the need of fund. Then what are the options for them? They have two options, as we all know, that they can go for borrowing money or their shareholders or the owners can keep it. So in this respect, if they want to choose the borrowing money, then what they will do, they will go to the lender. So then what will be the first questions lender will ask? The first question lender will ask that will or can they pay the loan? Means if I being a lender, if I give the money to the supercut, then can supercut repay the loan or not? This is a big like the fundamental questions. Can Reliance Power return that money with its own business? So these questions reflects a concern, and that concern or uncertainty is called . credit risks. And the uncertainty of getting the lender's money to any business organization or any individual or any entity, that concern or uncertainty is called the credit risk or the default risk. Means how much the borrower will be capable to return the money. And this uncertainty or this credit risk mainly depends on whether the borrower has the capability or will have the capability to repay the amount, or another question is, or another element is also important, that's whether they have the willingness to return the or repay the principal and the interest amount of the loan. So the credit risk mainly depends on, or the chances or the uncertainty of getting back that money, the lending money, depends on the capability of, as well as the willingness of the borrower. For example, if I'm a borrower, I have the capability to repay the money to the thing that like borrowing as an agreed term, but I'm not interested to pay. And as cases it happens that the capable person to return money. So that is what is the determinant of the credit risk, that whether a borrower will lend the money or not. And the combining of the capability and willingness together is called the creditworthiness of the borrower. So this creditworthiness, combining these two, is the determinant of the credit risk. Means how much is that, or to what extent there is a chance of getting back that money we are lending. And this credit risk ultimately tells us that how the loan will be structured. Means if we feel like as a lender, if we feel high risks, then we set our terms and conditions of the loan accordingly. If we found there's a lower risk, if someone has the will or will have willingness, then we will also set our terms and conditions accordingly. And it also determines that what will be the price of the loan, means how much we will charge, which is called interest, or in another way we can say the cost of debt from the borrower perspectives. So here creditworthiness is the determinant of the credit risk, and credit risk helps the lender to determine the terms and conditions of the loan, as well as what will be the price of the loan. And today's our focus is that how can we measure it? Because if we can measure it appropriately, the credit risk, then we can set the, or we can design the structure of the, as well as we can set the appropriate price for the loan. And the root cause, then the question is coming that lender can assess by itself. Yes, lender can also assess this by with itself, but the rationale or the importance of the credit rating mainly emerged due to the information asymmetry problem in the financial market or the financial system. And particularly in the context of Bangladesh, as we have the bank-based economy, if we look at the information asymmetry model of the debt market, then we can see that there is an information gap between the, or among the players of the financial system. Let's explore it how. Borrower would like to borrow the money from the lender. Then what happens? Borrower has the obligation to return the fund along with the interest. So in that case, if a lender asks a borrower that, okay, will you be capable to repay it? Borrower, as being a borrower, anyone say, yes, I'm capable and I'll show all the documents that which reflect that I'll be able to lend. But there is an information gap between, because borrower knows in detail about its capability and willingness more than the lender. So all the public information, all the private information of borrowers may not be disclosed by the borrower to the lenders. So this gap is addressed as an information asymmetry problem, means the lack of information between the lender and the borrower, particularly the information about the borrower to the lenders, because lender will lend the money. So this is the first level of the information asymmetry problem. Now, lender would like to know the creditworthiness, because this creditworthiness determine that which we addressed earlier, that is the willingness and the capability. These two things combinedly tells that whether borrower can return the money or not. And if we define that this is a financial institution, let's think this is a bank, then what happens? Bank also gets the money from the depositors. So same information asymmetry problem we can also find in here, because being a depositors, you have options to deposit the money in different financial institutions. But as a depositors, do we have the all informations about the banks or financial institutions? Definitely not, which have some information to the lenders as well. But as a depositor, I have the concern that if I deposit the money, whether I'll get back that money or not. It also depends on the creditworthiness of the financial institutions as well. So if we look at the overall financial structure in Bangladesh, so we can find is a depositor, lender, and the borrower. There is a conflict of interest between lender and borrower, and also depositor and the lenders as well. So lenders want to know in detail or want to assess the creditworthiness of the borrower. On the other hand, depositor also wants to know the creditworthiness of the lenders as well, because the creditworthiness of the borrowers leads whether borrower will return the money to the lender, and depositors and the lender's creditworthiness also determine that whether depositor will get back this money or not. So here is the then question is that how the creditworthiness will be independently assessed, credibly assessed. If we assign that as a lender will assess, then what will be happen? Lender may assess in his own way. Yes, there are some internal credit rating systems in there, but there could be a conflict of interest. And the first slide we show that there is a huge non-performing loan, unpaid loan, because lender is dealing with the depositor's money. In some cases, what can be happen also, lender may lend to the inappropriate borrower intentionally, because this is not the lender's money, this is the depositor's money. So consequently, lender's creditworthiness can be weakened and it can be wrongly represented as well. That is why there is a need of independent creditworthiness assessment, and which we can do by the credit rating. And when we assess the credit premium, because when depositors putting the money in the hand of lender, he is bearing a risk. So if he bears more risk, he will expect some excess return. So how much excess return depositors will expect, or how much excess return lenders even expect, it also depends on creditworthiness of the lenders and the borrowers respectively. And by credit rating, we assess the creditworthiness of the lenders for the depositor and for the borrowers for the lenders. So based on that, depositors decides his risk premium, and also lender decides his risk premium. So in brief, that by credit rating we assess the creditworthiness to help the lenders as well as depositors in the context of Bangladesh particularly to determine how much risk premium, means excess of the risk-free rate of return they will charge over the borrower and lender. And credit rating. So the credit rating is a services or opinion. They give the information, the credit worthiness, to all the participants in the financial system. So in brief, that then credit rating is nothing but is an assessment of the credit risks to provide an independent opinion. So credit rating, by the credit rating, we assess the credit risks, means how much chances the lender will have, how much chances the lender will have, or how much uncertainty the lender needs to bear to get back. The agencies give the independent opinion. They are neither the part of the borrower, lender, or depositors. They are the independent opinion provider, and they give the reasonable opinion, like they give the opinion which is independent to any particular. There is no scope to become biased to any individual party. So the opinion has been expressed through the letter grade. Like here, if we see that A, AA, AAA. So like in the football match, if you find that if I do foul, then the red card is shown. What is the purpose of showing red card? Means it communicates an information. So similarly, the credit rating agencies assess the credit worthiness and communicate their opinion through letter grade, and also they also give the detail or credit rating report as well. Then who does credit rating? Means credit rating agency. In fact, credit rating ta kara kore. Here the credit rating agency, a particular credit rating agency, and in the context of Bangladesh, the credit rating agency must be authorized by the BSEC. Means BSEC gives the license, then they can do the credit rating. Okay, in the globally, we found that like there are three, we say big three. There's a Fitch, Moody, and Standard & Poor's. These three are the big three credit rating agencies in the world, and globally the credit rating market is very much concentrated, because almost only these three big three, in fact, comprises or captures the 95% shares of the global market share. And this is the scale of different. There are some differences, but if we look at the rating grade, then we can find that the up to BBB, that's an investment grade, and below BBB, there is an speculative grade, or like non-investment grade sometimes we say. So I think for understanding in our mind, which will help us to understand the remaining part as well. Now, there are 8 credit rating agencies in Bangladesh. These are like that. These 8. And interestingly, in India, the economy is like they're almost 2.2 plus trillion dollar. They have only 6 credit rating agencies, but we have too many credit rating agencies at this moment in the market. And I work in the CRISL, so definitely I want to show a few information about the CRISL for two reasons. One is that CRISL is the first pioneer credit rating company in Bangladesh. To share few information, this is the first ever multinational rating agency because it has the multinational ownership as well. And one of the big three, that's a Fitch rating, which was the collaboration of the with the CRISL, and it established in 1995. Though the first license was given in 2002, and founder member of ACRA, which is an Asian credit rating agencies, and we have the regional joint venture with the Pakistan, Bahrain, and Turusko, as well as Malaysia. So we have the global joint venture and collaboration as well. And only ISO certified credit rating agencies in Bangladesh in the last year, it has achieved that. And already it has achieved 30,000 ratings for the financial institution, corporate NGOs, debt instrument, and SMEs. Almost all top corporates, majority of the top corporates, I must say, are our clients. And it is tools. I want to highlight few of them, like Grameenphone, Stanchart, Summit, Banglalink, Square, Beximco, Bragbank, ACI, Reliance, Pran, and few more like DBPL. And we have in the last year, for example, 3,500 was the SME ratings we done in the last 2019. And this is the local credit ratings. As we can see that in case of global rating, we found there are differences, big differences, but there is an equivalence. So this table has been produced by Bangladesh Bank, and though the 8 rating agencies have the variance of or variation among their letter grade, but this is the equivalence.
Baba.
And steps of, so here, like as we have already mentioned, that credit rating agency, first we have learned, if we just recap, the first, what is credit risk. So later we found that credit risks, the assessment of the credit risks has been done by the credit rating. So later we found that how credit rating, who are the responsible for doing the credit rating. So we found that the credit rating agencies in the global and the local perspective. Now we want to shift focus. What are the steps of assessing the credit risk? There are the shopping, means if we go to any rating agency, give the fees and you will get the rating. But in fact, this is not. Because, for example, the CRISL works with a very high apply, all that, a very important element of the financial system and the business environment as well. And we follow this scientific approach. So when we get any request from an entity, then assessment, we assign the analyst team, then they collect and data and conduct the primary analysis. Then they go for a site visit and they interact with the management. And then they propose the rating to the IRC, that is called the Internal Credit Rating Committee. And after that, it goes to the rating committee, means the committee comprising external members as well, who have the ultimate responsibility to assign the credit rating and communicate rating to the entity. Then we communicate the rating and then we circulate. If the entity agrees, then we circulate it publicly. And after circulating, we do not forget. We try to, our assessment is following or not. For example, before pandemic, if we give the rating to any airlines company, So after the pandemic, we observed that their business is completely shut down. So definitely we'll come up with our surveillance, and we may change our outlook that though we give a good rating, but due to the current situation, their outlook means there has the possibility of reducing their capability or weaken their creditworthiness as well. So that's why to negative as well. Interestingly, if after communicating the rating to the entity, if they do not agree, then what will be happen? They may have the scope for appeal. They may appeal to the RC, means rating committee. Okay. And the rating committee then review it and then again communicate to the entity, and then the remaining process can be followed accordingly. And we treat, when we start the analyzing a business entity, we treat an entity from a very holistic approach. In the CRISL, we treat a business entity as an economic, as a social entity as well. We consider that a business entity operating in Bangladesh is a part of the global economy as well. Then our domestic economy is within the global economy. Then the particular company is within an industry, which is also the part of the global and domestic economy as well. Then the business entity, that is the borrower. And our focus, analyze the borrowers or business entities, for example, is a credit worthiness. So if we want to understand the business entity's credit worthiness, we must identify that to what extent its credit worthiness or capability of generating enough cash for repayment the loan is related with the characteristics of industry, characteristics or the dynamics of the domestic economy, as well as dynamic of the global economy. So for example, the supercar, yes, it is also a part of the global economy, but its business is lessly exposed to the global economy. But this framework helps us to identify, like if we talk about an airlines industry, then it's significantly exposed to the global economy. Or if we talk about our RMG, though we analyze an individual RMG, but its customer side is significantly depends on the global economy and its customer country particularly, their characteristics and their status. So in that way, we try to identify the big picture first. Then later we go in the deeper analysis. So here I try to give you some framework. Then we started our analysis with some basic questions like, what is the borrower's capability? So we first look at to identify their capability. So we generalize, ask some basic questions. I want to skip it because we will give focus more on the. Then we also ask some questions about some borrowers' willingness, means how good the borrower, their philosophy, who are in the business and what are their track record, their management philosophy, their corporate governance. We try to also look into these two issues. So when we try to assess a particular entity, so we try to assess that particular entity from two perspectives, that whether it has the capability and whether it has the willingness as well. So these are the two elements, and combining this, based on these two elements, we draw the conclusion what will be the level of creditworthiness and which rating we will assign. And all the information related with that particular business can be categorized into that. It can be macro information or firm specific information. Like a particular company is operating in Bangladesh. So how good or how promising the Bangladesh economy is also a relevant factor. So that's why, or the global economy, as I have mentioned you, that's during this pandemic, garment sectors or garments, a particular garments factor, business is significantly exposed to the macro factor as well. It's a global macro factor. So we try to categorize that macro factor as well as farm specific factors. And we also try to categorize all macro and micro factors into qualitative factors and the quantitative factors as well. So this is our framework by which we synthesize their informations. And here X, if we consider X is 25% plus minus, so we can get the emphasis. We try to give the emphasis in here. In case of macro, we try to give more information of the qualitative information. For the micro is like equally important for qualitative and quantitative. There is some misconception that credit rating or the credit analysis is only related with the financial factor or financial data. So to clarify that myth or to modify that myth, I try to visualize that how significantly non-financial information is given emphasis. So here I'm giving a very brief example of a cement. Let's think about a cement company. Say then company, we can identify the factors macro, farm specific, qualitative and quantitative. For example, market size. The market size for the cement industry significantly depends on the demand of or the consumption or the future consumption as well, future consumption of the governments, of the country. And thus, as we all know, urbanization, infrastructure development are the key driver, which growth of infrastructure investment is also an indicator. On the other hand, qualitative information is also, we can find here that as a tax policy, the power supply, political stability, environment policy. Like we found that most of the infrastructure project or urbanization is stuck due to the COVID-19. As a result, during this pandemic, we are expecting lower consumption of the cement industry. So these are the factors as well. And farm specific factors, all the financial, we found that there are the credit ratios, the liquidity, profitability, solvency, and the qualitative information is also, we can say that what is the corporate governance systems in the farm. What about their ownership structure? What about their supply chain? What is their business strategy? We try to explore. So this is a general example. So here, I request all of you that please don't consider my opinion as an opinion of a CRISL or treat it as a real example. So here, this is some like tailored or modified example for making that. Before analyzing any company, we can look at the company from this perspective: macro, micro, qualitative and quantitative. Okay, now all the synthesized information we can put in a framework to draw our conclusion. How can we draw? So we first look into that issues of the economic analysis, like in which economy we are operating, and we focus about the industry analysis as well. And here economy is not only local, also it's a global economy as well we consider, and also country economy as a global economy as well we consider. And combining these two, we try to draw or identify that what is the business risks of that particular entity. And then we focus on the financial analysis, and we go for analyzing of the cash flow analysis, liquidity, profitability, and solvency analysis. So if we don't have that idea about individual items, so no matter, just think that these are the attributes. Like if we want to assess an individual, so we use some criteria, that what is the height of that person, what is the weight of that person, what is the blood pressure of that person, what is the education. Similarly, these are the criteria based on which we assess an individual. So you can recall that all the financial, like financial risks here depends on all micro factors, and business risks mostly all related with that macro factors, both qualitative and quantitative. But in financial risk cases, all the quantitative factors we consider. Now what we do, combining these two, we try to come up with the standalone rating. Means we first try to identify that what will be our initial rating, we can say. And after that, the macro, quality, quantity, and micro quality, we come up with the standalone risks. And after that, we conducted that qualitative micro information, means firm specific qualitative information, and accordingly we modify the standalone rating to draw the financial. Means how do we modify the standalone or initial rating? We go for detailed business analysis, like we analyze their corporate governance, human resource, value chain, corporate strategy, and other significant non-financial analysis. Means we try to go for the 360-degree analysis of the firm issues. We give more emphasis on the elements which are more critical for the credit worthiness of a particular firm. And it varies from company to company. Like a cement company and bank, both have the credit worthiness to assess. Like if we now focus how to, then question may come, how do we conduct the country or economic analysis? So this is a very vast framework as well, but mostly we go for that qualitative judgment in that cases. But here I'm showing is a very brief, just as a framework. Like if we go for the case of the cement company, so based on the criteria we assess, financial system we consider. I have also shown you the first slide. It seems a bit weak according to our analysis. Legal system is also weak, and socio-political environment is moderate if we consider. So infrastructure is moderate, it is improving very fast, and government has also huge investment. So overall, if we draw the conclusion that the country risk is moderate. By the way, anyone can disagree with me, and I would not like to admit it. This is nothing but an example. So I must not recommend anyone to refer, but yes, all are the information about Bangladesh, and this is my judgment, by the way. And it is particularly particularly relevant for the cement industry, perspective. Okay, now if we get that moderate, then what we found that this matrix will be used to identify the business risks. As you can see that, you can remember that combination of economic risks and industry risks will tell us that business risks. So here we got an economic risk is moderate, means we got the 3. So now industry risk. If we go for industry analysis, so these are the features. I'm quick moving. Like these are the typical features of the cement industry, which can be put in the Porter's Pi forces model as well. So at this moment, we draw conclusion. Our understanding is that it is very risky. Here, industry risk is very high. So, industry risk was very high and economic risk was moderate. So, combining these two using this matrix, we found 4. So, here, business risk 1 for very low, 5 for very high. So, 4 means we can say high here. So this is the framework of the credit risks for the financial risk, 20%, 20%. But this weight can be different for different industries as well. So this is a general distribution, and according to the industry and varies company to company, someone can use a different judgment as well. So here, the score is out of 100. So if any company from the financial analysis get more than 75 or equal 75, will treat is financial risk is low. So accordingly, if we apply this table, we can find that the company, though I do not show in detail financial analysis, let's assume that the company based on those 4 criteria got the low score. So if it gets the low score, the business risk was 4, means high. But financial risk is low. And combining these two, we can, which was a bottom layer of investment grade. You can remember possibly. So we got the standalone or initial rating. Now what we do? We will modify it with the modifier of the particular non-financial factors of that entity or the firm specific factors, and we will come up with the final rating. So here, business risk is high, financial risk is low, standalone risk is a BBB, and these particular companies, after conducting all non-financial firm specific analysis, we identify some key modifier which helps us to draw the final final rating. This is strong group support, means the particular cement company is affiliated with a group which is a very strong financially as well, and established brand image, strong selling and distribution network, as you know, that's a very important for cement industry, and skilled management, and strong government liaison. As you know, government is one of the highest consumer of the cement, so that liaison is also very important. And family ownership, we treat it as a positive indicator here, because family ownership is treated positively, because if the business, they will be the bigger sufferer. So that's why the owners will also try to give all sort of supports for surviving this company. So considering these modifiers, we can draw conclusion of the 2 notch higher, means triple B, then the higher notch is A minus, then A, means we uplifted 2 notches. So here is a completely qualitative judgment. So here is the responsibility of the rating committee and also analyst as well. So applying the judgment considering all the factors. So this is overall framework. Now what is the use of it? Let's think in that way. Suppose this company got A, the credit rating, suppose this is a limited company, it got credit rating A, means is credit risk is not, credit worthiness is like is not too strong, similarly not too weak as well, it's a moderate level if you see the scale as well. On the other hand, then question is that how much default risk premium it will expect. Definitely amount of default risk it will expect. Now if we conduct a B, like analyze the credit risks of the big limited who also would like to borrow from me, and then what will be the condition? As I mentioned you that consider yourself from the lender perspectives. Now what will be the lender's position? How do lenders charge A and B for the risk premium, which will be one of the element of the interest rate or a cost of debt for A and B. If other things remain same, so due to the same credit worthiness, the default risk premium will be same for A and B. But if other things varies, then this is the judgment of the lender. So credit rating is an information which helps the lender for making informed decision. It doesn't mean that this is all about a determinant of the lenders. So this is one of the limitation of credit rating as well. So this is one of the supportive information, but definitely key supporting information as well. So here just for making understand, so if in case of A limited, if the rating would be triple B, then in which cases lender would charge more if other things remain same? Definitely in case of A, lender feels more credit risk, that's why he will expect more default risk premium or credit risk premium. That's why they will charge more interest to A compared to B if other things remain same. So this is a very like gross level of using of the credit rating. And let's proceed on few more cases as well. Like in RNG, one of the RNG company, then how do we go for that? So if we found that this business risk is moderate, and if we found that the financial risk is also moderate, then we come up with that rating is triple B. And in that cases, the modifiers like irregular payment, the companies standalone, like the cement companies had standalone risk rating was also triple B. But in that cases, we found from the qualitative analysis that high leverage, they have taken very high like loan, borrowing too much compared to its equity. And they have also very irregular payments history as well, means willingness is also reflecting in here. So that's why what has been happened in earlier cases, the rating was improved, but in that cases rating downgraded, because the other factors that are modifiers through non-financial firm specific analysis also play the game in that case. And in a jute company, let's look at a jute company. So here we can find the standalone risk is rating is a B, but it was a government-owned company. That's why government support. As you know, the Bangladesh government's rating is triple B minus, and which is stable outlook as well. Means government is capable for repayment and giving support for the long-term debt as well. So considering that factor and the raw material is available, but low capacity utilization. Though government support ensures the loan repayment of lender, but the low capacity utilization is also considered, means the positive and also negative modifiers play the game. And final rating triple B, double B minus means just one notch has been, two notch has been improved from B to double B minus. So here is a manufacturing company. So here also just I'm repeating the same model so that the conceptual model can be in your mind. So here, look at the interesting thing is that standalone risk rating come up with the triple B plus, but the modifiers, when we go for non-financial analysis, we found that strong group support is affiliated with a very strong group, but its raw material it needs to import raw material, which becomes very risky. Foreign exchange risks has been high because it significantly depends on the importing of raw material, and the price fluctuation risks as well, because his price it is mainly as an export oriented, so his price fluctuated because of the different global economic context as well. And weak liquidity position, its liquidity position like is not so strong. That's why what has been happened is modified, the rating goes down. So we have seen few cases which tells us the whole framework. But to come up with this conclusion, we go for analyzing every individual element of that framework. And here is a very interesting case as well. It consists there was a very good company in 2013. The company had the AA minus rating, but over the period it has been A, means is consistently is creditworthiness is weakened. So we come up with the rating, means we draw the conclusion in every year with the same framework we have shown you. But why it has been happened, though this is a good company, it's a very reputed company, and it is still market leader in that particular segment, but its rating creditworthiness has been reduced. And the major reason is here, it's a market leader. In the context of Bangladesh, this is a very good company, but it's a family owned and family managed, means the decision making, family owned means family ownership, but managed means its decision making is significantly comprised to the family members, and family members own that companies, and two strategic decisions failed because they took, as we all know that every company has its own strategy. This company had also few corporate level strategy, and two strategy failed, which ultimately, in spite of their market leader position in that particular company, has weakened the creditworthiness. That is why we shown you that non-financial factors are very key, and we not only analyze that how much cash it will generate, we also analyze that whether their strategy they are taking in future or not. Like in this company, as we have shown you, that its creditworthiness is degrading because of the failure of the two strategy, because it has set up an export-oriented manufacturing plant based on huge debt and unrelated diversification. This company has diversified in a segment which they do not have any experience at all. And unfortunately, that project also fails, and which has adversely affected the creditworthiness of the existing company as well. So, in fact, we found that not only the financial factor, non-financial factor, particularly business strategy, corporate governance, and their value chain, and their human resources, succession plan, all these factors play the game. Yes, in the context of Bangladesh, CRISL, from CRISL point of view, we try to follow this framework. And this is one of our key strengths as well. We try to go for those attributes so that we can draw ultimate factual conclusion as well. As a result, we tell it as not financial analysis. We always tell that CRISL or our rating company is a business analysis. So here, I have conducted a small survey among the analysts. Like, there are different key sectors and which factors are the more important to them, non-financial factors for determining the rating or the creditworthiness. And the result shows a very interesting picture. You can find that these are the major sectors in most who conduct their like rating or who conduct the business analysis. So here you can find that industry to industry, the individual factor is playing the differently. And here I must re-emphasize that the corporate governance is important to all industry, but analysts think that it is more important in case of the banking industry. Like RMG, the compliance is a very important indicators for assessing its creditworthiness. On the other hand, in the power sector, the power company, the power purchase agreement is one of the key driver of its cash flow. So the factors, same factors can be considered for all industry, but same factor will not play at the same extent for the creditworthiness of an individual company. That is why this is very critical for an analyst to understand business properly and identify the which factors will drive what kind of business to what extent. So summary note, if we come up with the summary note, then the first one is that credit risk. What is credit risk? It's a measures, the credit risk is measured by the credit rating method based on that what is the capability and willingness of the borrower. And the credit rating, what is credit rating? Credit rating is nothing but is a scientific process which consider macro and micro factors to determine business risks, financial risks, and other non-financial performance indicators, and drawing the conclusion or considering all these factors, we draw the conclusion. And the most important and critical to draw ultimate conclusion, there is a level of impact of individual factor on credit risks vary. It varies from industry to industry, country to country, company to company in the same industry, company to company in the same industry, but different country. Like the cement industry or the telco industry in Bangladesh and the telco industry in Japan may not be like depend on the same factor. Means one factor may be like affect the creditworthiness of the same type of company in two different countries in a two different way. So the contrary remark is that deep inside of an individual case is very critical for assessing the credit risk. Means when we go for analyzing a particular company's creditworthiness, we consider all framework, all theoretical background, but we try to identify, or we need to take it as an individual case. So every business analysis is an every case. One size doesn't fit for every case in fact. So that is why it is very essential being a business analyst or financial analysis to understand that particular case properly for understanding the business and draw the conclusion for your passion hearing.
আমরা কি শেষ করলাম?
হ্যাঁ, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohan bhai, for your nice presentation. Especially হচ্ছে যে ডিফারেন্ট ইন্ডাস্ট্রি যে কেস স্টাডি গুলো উল্লেখ করে আপনি বলেছেন, এটা আমার কাছে ভালো লেগেছে। তো আমরা এখন ফ্লোর ওপেন করতে যাচ্ছি পার্টিসিপেন্টদের কাছ থেকে প্রশ্নের জন্য। সো প্লিজ ফিল ফ্রি টু রেজ ইউর হ্যান্ড, আস্ক ইউর কোশ্চেন, or even you can write down your question. So আমরা একটা হাত দেখতে পাচ্ছি, সানোয়ার হোসেন ভাই, আপনি যদি কাইন্ডলি আপনি আনমিউট করে আপনার প্রশ্নটা করেন। And then
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm Sanwar from Bragg Bank. So my question is regarding this COVID period, or post-COVID situation. For the time being, will there be any changes of assessment for the banking industry particularly?
Yes, definitely. Banking industry is one of the most sensitive industry.
Yeah.
And as you know that banks, you can recall the framework I was showing you. Like, if can I show that slide, please?
Yeah. আপনি শেয়ার বাটনে ক্লিক করে আবারও প্রেজেন্টেশন করবেন।
Then, okay, just. Sorry. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, if we look at this model, then it will be easier for us to understand. What happens in this case, bank lend the money to the borrowers. Suppose in case of Bragg Bank, if we say that,
Yep.
The majority of your lending is to the SMEs, am I right?
Yep.
Okay, so what is the current state? Can they do business?
No, this is a very crucial moment is going on. So
Yes.
Yeah.
So if they can't do the business, can they repay you?
Risk is there.
No.
Not as per.
Not as per. Yes. And another bad impact will be happen. A good number of your clients, like SME clients, will not be in a good position to carry on their business. So not only the current market, the banks will be also sufferer for their future lender as borrower as well. Because if there is no entrepreneur who, like existing entrepreneur, were the market for the lender. So if banks do not get the lender, that will be borrower, that will be also a concern for you. And at this moment, there is no question at all. It's very tough for any borrower for repay the loan.
Well, my second question is regarding the retail lending, particularly as an analyst, what factors I should bring into consideration mostly?
Sorry.
For the retail lending.
Okay, retail lending. Yes.
Yeah. What factors I must bring into consideration during this time?
Yes. So yes, here is definitely you should consider that first one, whom you are lending.
Okay.
Whom you are lending, and will he be, because when you are lending not for the 1 day or 2 days, you are lending for the 3 years or a certain period of time, for example. So will that person be capable to generate cash flow? That individual retail borrower will generate the cash flow from his salary or from his business to repay you or not?
Sounds like I'll have to look over his regular salary reflection in the bank statements. Am I right?
Yeah, maybe here there is a critical point. Suppose I am a retail borrower from you, and my salary statement shows very healthy, but within my company has already taken decision to slashing my salary by 50%, and they also have the plan in the future to cut my salary as well. So here I will suggest you, in case of salaried employee particularly, you should also look about that company's policy where I'm doing job, or where who is my employer as well. You should also follow their policies, because you are lending me for the future.
আমাদের আরেকটা প্রশ্ন আছে, গোলাম কিবরিয়া ভাই হাত তুলেছেন।
Thank you.
গোলাম কিবরিয়া ভাই, আপনি আপনার প্রশ্নটা করবেন?
থ্যাংক ইউ মামুন ভাই, আমি গোলাম কিবরিয়া FCM চিটাগং থেকে।
Oh, assalamualaikum. Kibriya bhai, I feel so proud to be you in here.
Thank you. I really overwhelmed by your informative presentation. Really, it's a good presentation. I must thank you.
I'm
And
so glad.
I must thank you, Sudokko, for this presentation and this program. আমার একটা প্রশ্ন, যে সিমেন্ট ইন্ডাস্ট্রি নিয়ে আপনার একটা অবজারভেশন ছিল যে ইন্ডাস্ট্রি রিস্কটা হাই। তো আমার অবজারভেশন হচ্ছে যে কি বাংলাদেশের এই ইন্ডাস্ট্রিটা লাস্ট 20 ইয়ার্স ধরে একটা গ্রোথ রেটের দিকে আছে, এবং এই প্যান্ডেমিকের সময়ও কিছুটা ডাউন ট্রেন্ড থাকলেও এখন একটু আবার আপ ট্রেন্ডের দিকে যাচ্ছে। কিন্তু এই ইন্ডাস্ট্রির একটা সমস্যা, প্রোডাকশন ক্যাপাসিটিটা বেশি। এটা হতেই পারে, কারণ এটার অনেকগুলো লজিকও আছে। কিন্তু আপনার দৃষ্টিতে এটা হাই রিস্ক, এটা কেন? এক নম্বর কোশ্চেন। এরপর আরেকটা কোশ্চেন হচ্ছে, আমরা বিশ্বব্যাপী দেখে আসছি যে ক্রেডিট রেটিং এজেন্সিগুলো 70-এর পর থেকে ভালোভাবে কাজ করে আসছে। আমাদের দেশে যদিও আসছে মুজাফফর স্যারের হাত ধরে 90-এর দশক থেকে, 90-এর একটু শেষের দিক থেকে শুরু হলো। কিন্তু ক্রেডিট রেটিং থাকা সত্ত্বেও বিশ্বব্যাপী বিভিন্ন ফিনান্সিয়াল স্ক্যান্ডাল, ফিনান্সিয়াল স্ক্যাম গুলো হয়ে গেছে, এবং দেখা গেছে যে কি এই ভালো ক্রেডিট রেটিং থাকা সত্ত্বেও একটা দেশের ভালো ক্রেডিট রেটিং আছে, ইন্ডাস্ট্রির ভালো ক্রেডিট রেটিং আছে, কোম্পানির ভালো ক্রেডিট রেটিং আছে, সবগুলা রেটিং এ ভালো পজিশন, কিন্তু দেখা গেল যে ওই ইন্ডাস্ট্রিটা ফল বা ওই কোম্পানিটা ফল করলো, ওই কোম্পানিটা ফল করলো, এইটার কারণটা কি? এই দুটো প্রশ্ন। থ্যাংক ইউ।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ কিবরিয়া ভাই। ফার্স্ট অফ অল, আমি প্রথমে একটা ডিসক্লেইমার দিয়েছিলাম যে এনি অ্যানালিসিস দ্যাট কনক্লুশন উইল বি নট ট্রিটেড অ্যাজ এ রেফার্ড কনক্লুশন। আই ডু ফুললি এগ্রি উইথ ইউ কিবরিয়া ভাই। আসলে সিমেন্ট ইন্ডাস্ট্রি নিয়ে যদি আমরা ট্রু অ্যাসেসমেন্ট দিই, it will be moderate or below high risk. But I gave it just so that no one can give it reference. Dr. Mamun put it as a high risk or low risk. So I try to avoid that point.
থ্যাংক ইউ। আমি সেজন্য না, জাস্ট জানার জন্য যে রিস্ক কেন আপনি বলছেন সেটা কি জানা যাবে কিনা। আমি
অবশ্যই জানা যাবে। আসলে আমি ওটাকে হাই দিয়েছি অ্যাজ অ্যান এক্সাম্পল হিসেবে, বাট আসলে সিমেন্ট ইন্ডাস্ট্রিকে মানে একদম মডারেটও বলতে পারা যাবে না এই মুহূর্তে আমার কাছে মনে হয়। এটার আরেকটা রিজন হলো কি, এখানে এন্ট্রি ব্যারিয়ারটা খুব একটা স্ট্রং না। দেখবেন যে এক্সিস্টিং কোম্পানিগুলো, দেখবেন একটা অবজারভেশন ইজ ভেরি নেগেটিভ সিমস টু মি, যে একটা আমরা দেখছি যে অলমোস্ট ইজ এ, আপনি যেটা বললেন, হিউজ আন্ডার ইউটিলাইজ or over capacity, তারপরও new projects are expansion plan are taking. So this is not good sign at all for this industry. এটা একটা ফ্যাক্টর হয়। আমাকে কি শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
হ্যাঁ, শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
আচ্ছা, আরেকটা ফ্যাক্টর হলো এই যেটা আপনি বলেছেন, দেখেন ধরেন 8টা ক্রেডিট রেটিং কোম্পানি আছে বাংলাদেশে। এখন একটা কোম্পানিকে CRISL AAA দেব, আরেকটা কোম্পানি আরেকটা রেটিং কোম্পানিও তাকে AAA দিল। এখানে কিন্তু কোয়ালিটেটিভ ডিফারেন্স আছে। এটা এক নাম্বার ব্যাপারটা, কে জাজ করছে, এটা এক নাম্বার ব্যাপার। 2 নাম্বার ব্যাপারটা হলো, ইউ নো, এভরিওয়্যার দেয়ার ইজ এ কনফ্লিক্ট অফ ইন্টারেস্ট অ্যাজ ওয়েল। আমি যেরকম এই যে এখানে যে মডেলটা দেখাচ্ছি, সেখানে আমরা দেখছি কনফ্লিক্ট অফ ইন্টারেস্ট বিটুইন লেন্ডার এন্ড বরোয়ার। এখন যদি বরোয়ার যদি ইনফ্লুয়েন্স করে রেটিং কোম্পানিকে এবং তারা যদি ট্রু জাজমেন্টটা না দেয়, তাহলে দিস ইজ দ্য ফেইলিওর, and this is one of the strong criticism as well, because credit rating is not the typical services, this is the independent services, and there is no scope at all to compromise the independence of the credit rating agencies to give the proper judgment. And the third point is, as you mentioned, that in spite of, let's assume that a company is very fair and regardless of anything, the economic collapse. It's my personal opinion that sometimes even a good company or good analyst may go for the overcomplicence. Overcomplicence is that they may only limit, like I have shown here, that the framework, like repeatedly, if I just put myself in that framework, there is a high chance of like error. And yes, we are giving the opinion, it doesn't mean that this is absolutely right. There have some risk as well, the opinion can be, but severe mistake can be happen when we do not, the last statement I mentioned here, that we have to treat every case very deeply, coming out from that framework may lead us. So আমার মনে হয় অনেক সময় আমরা এই জায়গাটাতে even in some cases, in some big failure, আমরা কিন্তু সেই জিনিসটাই দেখি from the historical data that some big, like Arthur Andersen for the audit firm is a collapse in case of the Enron.
আরেকটা প্রশ্ন এসেছিল সুব্রত কুমার, উনি প্রশ্ন করেছে আপনাকে যে how do you assign a higher risk premium in a regulated environment? For example, 9% for agriculture industry.
Yeah. Okay. Hello.
জি বলেন।
হ্যালো, আমাকে কি শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
হ্যাঁ, আমরা শুনতে পাচ্ছি। এই প্রশ্নটা উনি লিখিত করে।
আচ্ছা, হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। রিস্ক প্রিমিয়াম কিন্তু এই 9% এর উপর বেস করে হয় না। রিস্ক প্রিমিয়ামটা আমার বেস হচ্ছে রিস্ক ফ্রি রেট অফ রিটার্ন। তো আমার রিস্ক ফ্রি রেট অফ রিটার্নটা কত তার উপরে। এখন রেগুলেটেড এনভায়রনমেন্ট যখন বলা হচ্ছে, সাপোজ গভর্নমেন্ট ইজ টেলিং দ্যাট 9% শুড বি দ্য ম্যাক্সিমাম, বাট এর মানে না যে কেউ এই, এখন যদি আমার রিস্ক ফ্রি রেট অফ রিটার্ন হয় 4%, তা আমি সবার জন্যই কি 5% রিস্ক প্রিমিয়াম ধরবো? গভর্নমেন্ট, সাপোজ গভর্নমেন্টের ক্যালকুলেশনটা যদি হয় 4% রিস্ক ফ্রি রেট অফ রিটার্ন প্লাস 5%, মানে 5% ইজ দ্য ম্যাক্সিমাম। বাট সো ফার আমার যেটা মানে আমার মনে হয় যে এটা একটা অ্যাসপেক্ট। আর আরেকটা ব্যাপার হলো যে আপনি যেটা বোঝাতে চাচ্ছেন, আমার যেটা মনে হয়েছে যে শুড ইট বি রেগুলেটেড অর নট, আমার মনে হয়। তো এই ক্ষেত্রে আমি বলবো যে ইয়াস, ইট হ্যাজ সাম লিমিটেশনস, যার ফলে আমাদের লেন্ডাররা অ্যাপ্রোপ্রিয়েটলি যা রিস্ক প্রিমিয়াম যার ক্ষেত্রে যেটা ধরার কথা সেটা হয়তো আইডেন্টিফাই করতে পারবে না। কারো ক্ষেত্রে হয়তো রিস্ক প্রিমিয়াম, আমি যদি রিস্ক ফ্রি রেট অফ রিটার্ন 4% ধরি, তাহলে কারো যদি রিস্ক লেভেল অনেক হাই থাকে, তাহলে সেই ক্ষেত্রে তো আমি 6% ধরতে চাই, ইট ক্যান বি 10% অ্যাজ ওয়েল। বাট গভর্নমেন্টের এই দিক থেকে আমার এটা ব্যক্তিগত অ্যানালিসিস হলো যে যেহেতু লেন্ডাররা মানে I must not say all lenders, but there are many bad lending. In that cases, their rate is very high or low, but that was not actually lending. Few people come and they bring the money out from the financial institution. So in this chaotic situation, so far I understand, government come up with a regulation for shorter possible time to maintain some discipline. So I personally take it positively for the shorter period of time, but in the longer period, government may rethink in different way. But I'm quite happy with the 9% ceiling. It's my personal opinion, being a business analyst, because lending decisions were, because the first, if you look at the NPLs or bad loans, so which seems that there is a very chaotic in case of the lending decisions. So thank you. Any other questions?
আরো কিছু প্রশ্ন আছে।
I hope I'm clear.
Yeah,
sure.
If I am allowed, then I would like to ask question. But first of all, I would like to thank you for your good presentation. Actually, my question. Okay, my name is Mohammad Tafazil Hossain. I'm a chartered accountant. So my question is little bit, I think is different than what you have presented, because from your presentation, I understand, I saw the two major risk categories. One is the business risk, another is the financial risk. So my understanding, actually, the prevailing condition in Bangladesh, the loan defaulter culture is huge, and it is unmanageable. So we have lot of things like the internal audit, external audit, credit ratings, but nothing is able to control all this loan defaulter. So my question is actually, do you also check the business plan and the reality? What was the gap?
Yes.
And the important area is the governance, because if organization does not have the good governance, it's very difficult. Like now, many of the international organizations, they are talking CFO. Now it should be CVO. That's value creation, value of features. So because in Bangladesh, as an employee, we don't have any authority to actually influence about the management. But if there is a corporate system, good governance, then every person has a delegation of authority, and within that delegation of authority, we can work. So do you also check this area, because this is one of the important area. Because from my own experience in risks, actually risk identification, like for me, I had a lot of opportunity to identify the risks in international outside of Bangladesh, especially the partners organizations and all these things. But I'm wondering why being despite present all of these systems, why we are not able to highlight the real things? What is the problem? Are we actually not able to ensure our independence, or what is the problem?
Okay, thank you. It's a very timely questions, I think. I will give the answer from two perspectives, 2 points of view. First one, দাউদ ভাই, মে আই রিকোয়েস্ট ইউ, আমি স্লাইডটা মুভ করতে পারছি না, তাহলে আমি একটু মডেলটাতে একটু যেতে চাচ্ছি।
আপনি হচ্ছে যে শেয়ার অপশন, শেয়ার স্ক্রিন করেছেন, এখন মুভ করার কথা, আপনি কি ক্লিক করবেন ওটার উপর, ক্লিক করে ট্রাই করবেন। এখন কি অ্যারো চেঞ্জ করলে হয়?
হচ্ছে না।
আচ্ছা,
বাই দ্য ওয়ে, আমি কিন্তু এই জায়গাতে ওই আপনি যদি জাস্ট রিকল করেন, ফাইনান্সিয়াল রিস্ক এবং বিজনেস রিস্ক এর পরে আমি স্ট্যান্ড অ্যালোন যখন রেটিংটা পেলাম, তারপর আমরা মডিফায়ার হিসেবে কিন্তু আমরা বলছি, প্রথমেই বলেছি যে কর্পোরেট গভর্নেন্স অ্যানালিসিস করতে হবে, ভ্যালু চেইন অ্যানালিসিস করতে হবে, means business plan analysis করতে হবে, business strategy analysis করতে হবে. I do fully agree with you. There is no shortcut in that cases. That should be, analysis should be very in-depth. And particularly two things, personally, when I am responsible for any assignment, I first make a question that who is the borrower, means who is that individual, because that individual's philosophy is very important in that cases. Later, what does he do? So from that point of view, if you look at in my model, I'm sorry, I cannot move the slide. You'll find that in that model, I have shown you, that corporate governance, value chain, human resource analysis, group affiliation, business strategy, all the factors should be analyzed and come up with the modifier, number one. And second is that, yes, in our financial system and the economy, we have credit rating, we have independent auditor, we have all, but do we have the proper decision making culture? Do we take decision based on the fact?
I don't agree with you, because like if you ask me as a chartered accountant, I cannot sell my integrity. So I have another question, like let me give one example from my own. Like when I was checking, actually reviewing the risks rating on one of the report, actually that was conducted by one of the international firms based in UK. So I saw like a policy, let's say procurement policy, just they have answered the question yes. So my question is, what is the meaning of yes? Because if that guy, he or she does not have capacity to interpret the procurement policy, then only yes, it does not make any sense to me. So
yes, you are right.
Like the people you send to the partners organizations, if your people does not have the good quality to interpret the existing policy, so your result will not be actually useful. So this is also another my question, because like I have told you, independence is a very much clear. If you want to maintain your independence,
okay, yeah, I do fully agree with you. What I mean that yes, assume that, let's for few seconds, let's assume that all are the competent analysts. If a competent analyst or competent auditor gives an authentic report to the decision makers, do our decision makers consider those facts for making decision? No. Why I'm talking like that? Like when the rating, when in case of rating choice, you will find that there are 8 rating company, for example. So are the entrepreneurs coming to the best one who maintains the high quality report? No. Many of the clients are escaping that thing. Yes, that imperfections is in there in terms of quality, but in addition to that, I do would like to add that the thing is that institutional culture of our corporates needs to be developed. You'll find that decision makers, there is an suppose as a management, but is a decision making is not taking properly considering the fact. So this is my understanding.
True. So just allow me 1 minute.
আসছিল অন্যদের কাছ থেকে আমরা একটু শুনি।
Just allow me 1 minute. Just like, but this situation cannot continue like this way. So you people need to find out something. Like if you ask me, so I will suggest, why don't you introduce a harmonized governance system for the organizations?
Then let me just add one point. Just think about the board of director of all banks and management of all banks. Let's make a question that do the management of the banks independent for making their decisions? So I think we can find the answer. I do fully agree with you. There is no alternative of strengthening the corporate governance and building the institutional environment. For example, board cannot execute the issue. Board chairman is coming and telling that you will give loan to someone. No, board chairman will set a policy. CEO and the management will come up with the decision with the process that who will be allocated the loan, and the CEO and the management will be accountable to the board. So if that institutional environment, that is the part of main purpose of the governance, is not strengthened, not developed, then the demand of the quality services will be not created. So this is an holistic approach. I believe that.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
প্রশ্ন আসছে প্রায় একই ধরনের, সেটা এসে হচ্ছে এই দিক থেকে যে আমাদের সোফার যে এক্সাম্পল গুলো আমরা দেখলাম বা শুনলাম বা আপনারা হ্যালো
Sorry Daud bhai, I was disconnected.
যে প্রশ্নটা এসছে সেটা হচ্ছে যে এই আলোচনাতে মোস্টলি it seems যে বড় অর্গানাইজেশন, স্টক এক্সচেঞ্জে লিস্টেড বা লিমিটেড কোম্পানি, এই ধরনের অর্গানাইজেশনের এক্সাম্পল গুলো বেশি এসছে। একটা প্রশ্ন এসছে যে আমাদের দেশে তো প্রচুর এসএমই এবং এমএমইস এবং যারা একটা ইকোনমির একটা বড় কি বলা যেতে পারে যে প্রাণকেন্দ্র, তো সেই ধরনের অর্গানাইজেশন গুলো এবং যারাই ফাইন্যান্স পেতে অনেক ধরনের সমস্যায় ভুগে, তো আপনাদের মতো অর্গানাইজেশন গুলো কি বা অথবা কি সেপারেট কোনো এন্টিটি আছে যে যারা এই ছোট অর্গানাইজেশন গুলোর ক্রেডিট রেটিং করে?
Okay, thank you for the questions. Just before that, just let me highlight the full model, then it will lead our discussion properly. Yeah, so this is the holistic model as the earlier participants was asking. Here you can find as an all holistic elements: corporate governance, human resource value chain, strategy, all elements. By the way, as I mentioned that this is a generic approach. This is the general model. So let's fit this model for a SME as well. In SME, maybe we do not give too much emphasis on the corporate governance of the SME, but if you go for in a survey where we can find that in the SME, we give the highest, we give two factors as the top priority. One is the entrepreneur himself, what is his characteristics, and second is that what type of business he is doing. These two factors have been given the highest importance. And if you just think about this model, it's not necessary that all the elements you need to take for the SME. You can fit it accordingly. Yes, CRISL has the highest number of rating, SME rating as well, along with all top corporates. And up to today, as I mentioned you that we have 30,000 in total number of ratings for last 24 years. And out of those, almost more than 14,000 are the SME rating. Even in the last year, we conducted 3,500 rating, SME rating. So we do it, and we faces a lot of challenges for SME rating, particularly in terms of the credibility of the information. But we got also a lot of interesting learning as well. So here I was talking about the first question we asked that, and in fact it is common to all type of business, that who is doing business, which is very important for assessing. So, like as a lender, to whom you will put the money. And in case of SME, this is very important, that what kind of business that person would like to do. Like, is it just he is going a trend? And when we will analyze an individual, like suppose in SME cases, most of the cases we found the good clients or the good creditworthiness people. Even during this pandemic, we experienced some very interesting cases, like some SME owner sell their land and repay just to carry the legacy of their business.
So willingness is very high. Yeah.
Because he treat it is their passion. He's doing business for last 50 years. His grandfather is also doing business. One is there's a legacy of the entrepreneurship and the passion that I will continue my business.
Yeah.
So I believe that finding the right, and another aspect is a startup, new startup. The people are coming, as you know that globally, globally more than 90%. Startup fails, because nature of the startup is that it creates a flow and everyone jump on that flow. But in that cases, I must share my opinion from both the perspective, from startup, the people who are coming into the startup and they would like to go for borrowing money, then they should have the concretely 2 or 3 questions, that why, how much money I need the project, and what I want to do. And next question is that, okay, can I repay that money? Or this is my hobby that I want to do something. Suppose for Daud Bhai has a very good platform. I also thought that, okay, from tomorrow I will also open this platform. I need like 1 million taka. Okay, I love it. It doesn't make sense. I have to have very specific that if I borrow 1 million, then can I generate the cash flow for next 5 years to repay? So it is not a rocket science.
Sure.
So this is one is an startup perspective, and another is a lender perspective. I must say that lender should have the big responsibility in that cases. They should give the logistic support to the borrower, particularly SME borrower, because if they can do good business, they can create your market for your product as well.
So last প্রশ্ন যেটা এসে অনেক প্রশ্ন আসছে, বাট আমরা হয়তো সবগুলো নিতে পারবো না, অনেক রাত হয়ে গেছে। লাস্ট যে প্রশ্নটা এসেছে সেটা হচ্ছে যে অনেকটা ক্যারিয়ার রিলেটেড। আমাদের কাছে কিছু প্রশ্ন আছে, সাম করলে এরকম হয়, সেটা হচ্ছে যে এই ক্রেডিট রেটিং যে এজেন্সি গুলো আছে এখানে কাজের সুযোগ কেমন, অথবা কেউ যদি এই ক্রেডিট রেটিং বা অ্যানালিস্ট লাইনে ক্যারিয়ার গড়তে চায়, তাহলে এর ভবিষ্যৎ কি? যারা ক্রেডিট রেটিং এ জব করছে তারা কি কোনো একটা পর্যায়ে আরো বৃহত্তর অর্গানাইজেশনে যেতে পারে কিনা, যেমন ব্যাংক বা অন্য ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল ইনস্টিটিউটে, অর ভাইস ভার্সা? সো আপনি একটু ক্যারিয়ার নিয়ে একটু বলেন, বিকজ আমাদের অনেক শ্রোতা আছে যারা হচ্ছে যে আর্লি ক্যারিয়ার, মিড ক্যারিয়ারে আছে, তারা জানতে চাচ্ছে ব্যাপারটা।
Thank you. In fact, this questions is also helps me to recall about myself as well. Like my first opinion in this regard, because credit rating, first of all, there is a credit rating company. Now, as I mentioned to you that there are 8 credit rating companies. First, you have to choose. Do they do proper credit rating? Do they apply the scientific approach or not? So if we assume that a good credit rating company where they conduct the proper analysis, then I believe if any business graduate or any graduate, not finance, not even business, even non-business graduate, can take that opportunity at the earlier stage of their career, like as a CRISL, it is a great platform for anyone to see different types of business from a raw perspectives.
Yeah. Very
And under one umbrella, you can find lot of businesses, different types of businesses. Even sometimes you will be surprised that the new business, which are very non-traditional business, they first come to you for their debt financing. So even before market, you have the chance to know about that business.
Okay.
Number one. Second is that if you see my whole session, learning session, you'll find that there is a lot of scope to apply your judgment. As there is an issue of career, as we all know that career is a very buzzword. Everyone is building career of everyone at this moment in Bangladesh. But I must suggest one, or I must share one point to particularly the young generation. Please do not go for any substandard something. As I mentioned you that, learn to how to apply your own judgment. And this is not any superficial issues. Like if you bring any top CEO of the big 500 company in the world and putting it in running a garments in Bangladesh, he definitely will do blunder, because it's a case basis as well. So career is very important, but there is no shortcut way. Particularly, I believe that credit rating company particularly can help you in this respect, to help you to learn, help you to build your judgment, help you to go deep into the issue.
Thank you, Mamun bhai. So এটা খুবই একটা ইনসাইটফুল সেশন ছিল। আরো কিছু প্রশ্ন আসছে, বাট আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে যে আমাদের একটা পর্যায়ে একটু শেষ করতেই হবে, রাত হয়ে গেছে অনেক।
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
আমি হচ্ছে আপনাকে ধন্যবাদ দিচ্ছি, পার্টিসিপেন্টসদের ধন্যবাদ দিচ্ছি, যারা লাইভে শুনছেন তাদেরকে ধন্যবাদ দিচ্ছি। আমরা আমাদের এই ভিডিওটা আমরা শেয়ার করে রাখবো আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেলে। আপনারা যদি চান তাহলে আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেল থেকে যে কোনো সময় এটা দেখতে পাবেন। আর আমরা যদি আমাদের ফেসবুক এবং আমাদের ওয়েবসাইট আছে, সেখানে যদি আপনারা ফলো করেন তাহলেও আপনারা আমাদের পরবর্তী কার্যক্রম সম্বন্ধে জানতে পারবেন। তো আমি আরেকবার আমাদের আজকের স্পিকার মাউন্ট ভাইকে ধন্যবাদ এবং পার্টিসিপেন্টসদেরকে আরেকবার ধন্যবাদ দিতে।
And I want to come up with the last statement, that is, if anyone want to learn business, I always try to recall the statement of my PhD supervisor. He always says that finance and business is all about common sense. So to build that common sense, you have to take uncommon pain and deep learning. And definitely Bangladesh is a platform of huge opportunity. But my urge, as it is the program will be disseminated to publicly, I'll urge to the young particularly, please do not go for anything substandard. Please do not go for any shortcut. Then that will ruin your potential. And do not try to do everything. Do something which you enjoy. And particularly for business and finance domain, build your common sense with the deep learning, deep observation, and deep engagement. So the old but very traditional statement, passion makes sense. So thank you, Adbhai. I'm so glad for sharing the knowledge or sharing the experience. And being a learner, today I have also learned a lot of things, and your audience are very rich, I must say. They had very good questions. That gives me good learning as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.